How y'all doing out there? This is Emmanuel Abraham coming all the way from Lavel, Louisiana. I told y'all I had something big for y'all, man. It's explosive. Street life testimony is what I represent, the streets and where you come from. And I got 3 important guys, man, I want y'all to pay attention to and listen to real good because they got a story to tell. It's a testimony of where they come from and what they've been through in life to help somebody out there to reach the youngest to the oldest. It doesn't matter. But pay close attention, have an open ear to understand where they come from. They're real people, come from the real struggle, come from the heart of the streets. And they have accomplished something from the streets and they learned something from the streets. First, I want to identify C-nile. I got C-nile here. Then I got Joe Ferguson. And I got Lavel, a.k.a. Turner, Tops. And I mean, they're all people pretty much know them from, they're out here from Mobile. A lot of y'all might know them. But I'm going to go ahead and start with Joe Ferguson, the entrepreneur that everybody should know him. And he come from First Cuts. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, Ferguson First Cuts. All right, it's at the Loop. I'm pretty sure y'all know what at the Loop at by Mudbugs. That's Ferguson. So I want to ask him some questions. First of all, where are you originally from? I'm sure the world want to know where you're originally from.
City,
Mobile. Mobile, Alabama. Hey, okay, cool. Okay. My next question for you is, how old were you when you first started, you know, in the street life, you know what I'm saying, first introduced to drugs, and why you started with it?
I gotta say probably 8th, 9th grade.
8th, 9th grade.
And basically it was just around it, you know, coming out of my age, you know, that's what everybody was doing.
It was the hype.
Being a follower.
Being a follower. Yeah. The hype thing. That's what's up, and that's how people started. So what, you was cutting hair at the same time that you was selling drugs? How did that play a part? 'Cause I know you like to cut hair.
Yeah, I always cutting hair. That was always my passion. And drugs was just me being dumb, you know, because I already was blessed, you know, with the talent and the skill to make money, you know, cutting hair. And, you know, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a hustle. You see what I'm saying? It's all business. You know, whatever you're doing, it's still business. So, you know, with the drugs, that short term, you know, once I woke up.
Something quick.
Yeah,
at
it was
the time.
foolish. Yeah.
Being foolish, making mistakes.
Yeah.
People make mistakes, man. So what? Okay, so why did you just decide to leave the street alone and just say, well, I'm gonna leave that fast money alone and I'm gonna just stick to cutting hair? Because you know that's a big change. It's a big shift in leaving fast money into slow money.
Yeah.
You know, so what made you decide to do that?
Pretty much discipline. You know, I thought, you know, as far as cutting hair, man, it was more like, you know, longevity for me. You know,
Yeah.
Selling drugs, that's short term. That's a mirage. And, you know, people that was doing it, you know, there's always 2 things you can learn from someone. You know, that's what to do and what not to do. You see what I'm saying? So I chose to do the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? And show the guys in the neighborhood that you can do it the right way. You know, it's all types of hustle, man. You know, drugs is just something that we're coming to doing because it's a fashion. You know, you see people on television and music. You know, they feel that's the way out. But you know, you can sell cars. You know, I used to coach football with my son, and I used to ask the team. You know how many, you know, what's they playing, and everybody raising their hand said they want to be a football player. No one said they want to own the team.
Right.
You know
Wow.
so they just trapped in that small circle mentality that's playing football is the way out. You know, you got people that's out there that's training the players that, you know, making money. You know, it's the people behind the scene, you know. And a lot of people, they want that glamour, that fame, and they want to be out front. No one want to be behind the scene. You see what I'm saying?
You're right. I'm gonna come back to your last question. C-nile. Let us know where C-nile came from and where you come from. I know you're out of Mobile, but what part of Mobile you're actually from, and you know how you got started?
I come from Roger William Practice over in Tomerville area on the north side, and I mean I got involved in drugs. It was literally right outside my door. I look outside my window, see everybody out there selling drugs and shooting. So first chance I got, where I built up enough courage. I mean, my mom and my stepfather got divorced, so after they got divorced, food was scarce in the house. I mean, my ribs were literally showing them After that, I got tired of it, and I just went out in the streets, and I got it myself. That was at 12 years old. So.
So you sold drugs before, so you can honestly say you sold.
I sold drugs my whole life, pretty much.
Why? What was the cause? What addicted to? What was the high?
Money, the power, the respect, or the false sense of respect. Because really, it's a false sense of respect. The minute you lose the money, nobody respects you no more.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a false sense of respect. Real respect is having a park named after you, having a street named after you, some a youth center or something like that, you know. So once I got locked up and I was able to sober up, this was my first time being sober my whole life. You know, I started out at 12 years old getting high, smoking crack and drinking and everything you could think of. And I just kept going from one drug to the next. From crack to Valiums to powder. Once I met powder, it was my boo thing then. I cut off everybody else. I say, this is what I'm a man. I mean, for real. So, and you know, I mean, my life just spiraled out of control from one thing. It went from one extreme to the next. The more you see, the harder your heart becomes. Like, you know, it's crazy. I'm sitting back thinking early today, I was talking to one of my friends. He was walking outside of the club. I was walking in. So our last conversation was I was going to teach him how to sell drugs. You know, I was going to teach him how to cook drugs the way I cook them.
Wow.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to show you tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he was cool with me, dude. And I walk in the club, 60 seconds later, shots rang out. Everybody come running in the club. They're like, yo, man, boom, just died. He got killed.
Wow.
This is the same dude I just told I was going to teach him how to, you know, do drugs. I'm going to say cook drugs the next day. And he was gone. And what's crazy is, I just shook my head, man, that's crazy. I walked outside, looked at him, went back in and went to party, and like nothing happened. It never dawned on me, man, maybe you need to go home. Maybe you need to stop selling drugs. That was out of the question for me. Because who wants to go from being a somebody back to being a nobody? At least that's your perception of a nobody.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, let's go back. Now let's go to Lavel Turner, a.k.a. Tops, man. I heard so much about you, man, and where you come from, man. I know you have done time, too, in the feds, didn't you?
Right.
Yes. You're originally from Mobile?
Yeah, I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama, right on 2nd Street, you know, right around the corner from Baltimore Project, you know, real drug-infested area. That's where I was born and raised.
Baltimore Projects, it was a drug-infested area?
Right. So I was introduced to it. I mean, you know, like crack house right next door. Wow. You know, another crack house right around the street. Around the corner, you got the crack. So everyone was pretty much selling drugs and using drugs, you know. But, you know, I had a father and a mother. You know, I was blessed to have, you know, both my parents, you know, raised me. And my dad, he worked 10, 12 hours a day to make sure that he provided everything that we need and, you know, even what we wanted. You know, but my problem was when I got in high school, you know, I decided to start smoking weed and stuff like that. So once I started getting high, you know, now and working a little job, you know, it's hard to try to maintain your bills and get the stuff you want along with supporting the habit. Working at Burger King, you know, so I got to the point where I'm like, man, I'm gonna start selling weed to support my habit, where I can have some extra money in my pocket. And then weed led to cocaine, and cocaine led me to prison.
What's the most drugs you ever sold?
I mean, I sold keys, I sold pounds.
Wow.
You know.
So money was coming to you.
Yeah, money was coming, but as fast as it was coming, it was going. You know, because once you know, there's no way you can really make conscious, sound decisions when you ain't even in your right mind. You know, because I'm high all the time. You know, and then I'm paranoid, so you got people plotting to rob you, you got people breaking in your house. You know, you're trying to do something for this guy. Okay, he don't pay you all your money, so it's coming in, but it's steady going out. You know, there's no kind of stability or nothing like that. Right, kicking wheels in mud, like my cuz used to say. I remember one time I went to go get a haircut. You know, he been cutting my hair all my life, and so my cousin was trying to get me out the streets. I mean, first of all, he hated that I even got in the street.
Right.
But then when I got in the street, he was coming to me. I think it was like a little duplex or something somewhere. You because if we can go in, you know, and get this little duplex, fix it up, you know, that'd be like $700-800 a month coming in for both of us. You know, you just do something with your money. But my mind frame, I'm like, you know, man, you know, just going on cut my hair. I got $800 waiting on when I get out of this check. You know what I mean? That was my mind frame.
Right.
You talking about $800 a month? As soon as you get through my head, I'm gonna make me $800. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't see the vision. You know, I was just stuck on it now, and it cost me.
Wow,
It cost me dearly.
If you was to change anything about your life, Lavel, man, what would it be, man, and why?
If I could change anything about my life, it would be surrendering to the will of God at a much younger age. You know, if I could change that, because I mean, man, it's just amazing all the things that God has done for me and still going to do for me. You know, when I just gave up, you know, I humbled myself and let them know that I was lost. You know, I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do. I don't want to sell any more drugs. I don't want to be broke either. But I also had a mind frame where I didn't want to work for nobody, because I experienced so many bad situations on jobs and stuff where you got people abusing their authority and stuff like that. So I just like, you know, I want my own business, but I didn't have a clue of what to do. So how he done put everything together for me now, you know, and I have my own food trailer and stuff now, how he just blessing me with customers and helping me to make a way. I can just only imagine if 20 years ago I would have did this where I did now. Now I'm 40 years old and just started and have to get everything from scratch. You know, so if I could change anything, it'd be that.
That's good, man. That's good. Joe, man, Ferguson, I want to ask you a question, man. I know this is for the kids, man. What can you tell our generation?